Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome to our third and penultimate session of this Demo Days event. And I'm delighted to be joined by Maria Soroka, who is fresh from a energizing holiday and full of energy to share with you today. So Maria heads up the servicing and the research team for Fastuna, which is an agile consumer research platform often used for innovation testing and for communications testing, as well as ad hoc research as well. Lots of use by in-house teams, which is going to be the focus of this session. So I can see plenty of you joining, which is wonderful. And as with all of the sessions that we're running, if you haven't heard me say this already, you can watch the recording. It'll be available straight afterwards, and then we'll be hosting all of the videos from the last 3 days on the Insight Platform's website. So if you have comments or questions as we go through, Maria is very keen that this is an interactive session. You'll be asked at various points either to respond to a poll or to put comments into the chat. Do please engage if you can. It makes these things all the more rich for everyone. But I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm going to sit by while Maria takes you through this demo and presentation from Fastuna. Maria, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mike. I just wanted to say that I love doing these sessions live. So because you guys can always, give your feedback and type in the chat box, and this is amazing. So, welcome to our webinar. As Mike said, I'm Maria Soroka. I'm Managing Director and Human Interface of Fastuna.com. So today, as you can see from the name of this presentation, we're actually going to tackle challenges faced by consumer insights professionals, such as limited research resources, time constraints, and the pressure to juggle multiple tasks. Probably sounds familiar to you. So what we will do, we'll on top of just presenting, what our platform can do, we will actually share practice and solutions how to address these pain points by integrating fast testing market research tool into your processes, and how make consumer feedback seamless for your team and your business. And additionally, we also provide some tips on selecting the right platform, and showcase some our client success stories to illustrate, the benefits. So let's get started. So to set the scene, let's dive into the GREET report, the latest GREET report from 2023. And I pulled out some facts about actually agile research in-house adoption. And we can see that amazingly, and businesses now increasingly embracing agile research practices in-house, with the growth of 30% since 2021. So, and I do believe it will keep growing. And this growth, I do believe, is driven by the need to stay competitive in a rapidly changing market and the influx of new products, platforms, and startups. So, however, on the other hand, we can see that quite a lot of market research is facing challenges. It's again some information from GREET report, and also what we observe amongst our clients is that businesses going through restructurings and cost-cutting measures, and the number of market researchers in-house is decreasing, and budgets for market research are shrinking, and yet the demand for rapid consumer feedback is actually increasing. So on top of that, what is happening is market researchers are now expected to be both strategic consultants, but also to juggle lots and lots of in-house like research operations and, conducts many projects. And actually now what I want to ask you to do, Mike will post a short poll, a short survey now in the chat box. And please answer the following question: how much of your time is spent on strategic tasks? Is it less than 25%? Or is it between 25 to 50%? Is it between 50 and 75%, or more than 75% you spend on strategic tasks? Or if you are not involved in market research tasks, please answer so as well.
Great. So we're starting to see a few votes coming in, and Maria, I'll let you know, I'm going to be Maria's eyes for this, because when she's presenting, it's not easy to see the results. So let's just see. A few people have voted so far. We've got any more of you? I can see there's lots of people in the audience who haven't voted yet. So let's get us to sort of
come on, guys, be brutally honest with us.
So I can tell you, most people are in the and I'm hoping that those of you in the audience can see the results on the stage. So what it's saying is that about 2/3 of people is less than 50% of the work is strategic. And the people with more than 75%, it's only one vote out of 13 that we've had so far. So you can see the skew is definitely towards the majority of work being less strategic.
I know this one person is our client, should be. Anyway,
close the poll. Hopefully those of you in the audience can see it. I think maybe you couldn't see it until I'd actually closed it. So here you go. This is what we've got now. You can see there's 60-odd%, less than half your time is on strategic tasks. Okay. Yeah,
and we believe that actually this number should be, increasing for majority of companies. Researchers should be focusing on the strategic tasks, and all the other tactical repetitive tasks should be moved to the machines. So this is our belief. This is how the future is going to work. So, but what I want to talk about, what we see as the result of that you have to juggle strategic tasks and tactical tasks, lots of tactical tasks, is what we call market research downward spiral. What we see is that market researchers so basically are overwhelmed by the demand of consumer validation research, and then that leads to the bottleneck. This is the step one of the spiral. So as bottleneck between balancing, strategic and tactical tasks. That was is happening at the personal level is that they face burnouts, and it's a brutal reality. And what I can see a lot, like posts on Facebook or LinkedIn, when people complaining, even in professional networks like LinkedIn, people complaining about being in the burnout, and then they miss deadlines. And then there are two things. What happens is that either decisions made without sufficient data, or the frustrating, and there's always frustrated stakeholders in the end. And this is actually reducing the impact of the whole market research or CMI department. And so that's what's really happening. And with no time for strategic tasks, so market research is experiencing a lot of pressure and lack of impact in the business. And what it might lead to, like not just frustration and burnout, but in the end of the day, that's market research is not that valued anymore. So we want to stop it because we want all to save our jobs, right? So what I want to demonstrate today is to showcase how we helped a couple of our clients to change this. And I want to jump straight into the example of, so one of our clients is the international pharma company. From the legal perspective, I cannot reveal the name yet, but soon we will be talking about it in the other conferences and you will figure out who it is. So what happened, they came to us end of last year with the request, and they experienced the situations that I was just talking about. They only had 3 insight managers in-house, and they were really struggling to balance between strategic tasks, and smaller tactical tasks. So that they led to absolutely unnecessary pressure and overwhelm in the insights department, and with numerous projects coming from multiple marketing departments of this company, or they simply didn't test. So that was their reality. Or another story. It's another client, big client of ours, is a multinational personal care company. So they had the issue of establishing the efficient process for delivering timely insights across teams for innovation testing. So they had something that, very earlier stage around qualitative, and then they normally would move to the bigger testing. But then it was too late, and what it resulted in actually they face challenges to validate the decision, and because it happened very late in the process and ended up with mediocre product ideas. And I don't know, maybe you can type in the chat, if everyone experiences before in the company, when again it led to frustration of their internal stakeholders, that why you delivering not very good ideas, that we cannot kind of build successful innovation pipeline with the results. And if you experience something like this, please put it in the comments. We see there's quite a lot of pressure on market researchers happening from different kind of angles in the companies. Okay. So both of these clients that I was just talking about came to us with a very specific need to integrate consumer feedback into their processes. So, and it was, for us, it was also important to hear that they didn't come for just like, okay, we need some agile tools. They really realized that they need the framework to build the kind of seamless consumer testing process, not just ad hoc, quick tools. And we can see it more and more that, and I think it reflects a notable industry shift where companies really understand the importance of incorporating, consumer feedback holistically into their operations. Not just, okay, I test here and there, but establish the whole process of testing. So to meet this increasing demand, we created what we called FAST framework. So what it does, it automates repetitive tasks, utilizes our standardized toolkit, and really frees up the time and energy of market researchers. You can see that this is like FAST is like framework, automation, standardization, and tools. And so with this framework, market research processes really streamlined, allowing researchers to handle tasks effortlessly and efficiently. And here, I'm also very interested to hear your comments. If you currently use any frameworks to integrate consumer feedbacks into the business processes, or you rely on more ad hoc approach. And nothing bad about ad hoc approach, by the way, but what we can see that with this increase in pressure on market researchers, that the need of seamless processes increase.
I'll let you know, Maria, if we get comments and feedback. I know it's not easy for you to see if people are there. getting thumbs up emojis from the audience, which is great. But if anybody has stories or similar experiences that they want to share, please do. It's a safe space. We'd love to hear your feedback. But I'll let you know if we get anything. Bye.
Yeah, I know this is not an easy topic in terms of, like, for me personally, it can be very personal. I also I left big corporates in 2018 before I started leading Fastuna. So that already was a big pressure on market research department, with lack of resources and increase in demand on, like, kind of getting faster and faster iterative feedback. And I can imagine how it feels now. And I can see a lot of our clients come under pressure of this, like, kind of, can you deliver faster? Can you deliver better insights? So, yeah. So if you can share your stories, guys, would be really appreciated.
I think it's a good point, Mariam. I think you're talking about this from personal experience, aren't you? It's not just what you're seeing in clients and customers. You've lived this as when you were in-house running insights in a big global corporate.
Yeah. But it's interesting because, like, I did, but 2018, it was just started, the start of, like, this expansion was like multiple tools. I think it started to appear more and more since 2019. And then what I can see now is just, like, sea of those, like, tools, lots of tools. So we want to point out that actually, and it's not hard for if you're in-house researcher, and you see the need of, like, okay, I need to use agile tool. What would you do? So, and there is, like, so many of us, Fastuna and others. So we see that that's really the big difference. What platform provider can make to their clients is really develop the integration framework for them, together with them. Why? It's like system integration process, so it's not just tech, but it's also, expertise of market researchers, of company, at both agency side and client side, and how they can work in partnership. I will talk about it later. And you can see here that we have two actually key components of the framework is, like, processes and people. And people, it's just, invaluable for building up the proper process. And so people from the agency should be able to consult their clients at the very senior level and being able to understand how current processes work currently within the client and how they can be optimized. So, yeah. As I said, we realized that there are two essentials within the framework. We call them P&P, processes and people. So in terms of processes, the framework provides clear stages that determine when and what type of consumer feedback is needed throughout the product communication development journey. Or communication development journey. So this ensures that all insights are captured at the right time. So, and it enables to make informed decision, and smooth progressing into the next stage. So again, so it shouldn't be, so results should be always coming in on time, but also answering in the right time and answering the right questions. And so, as I said, the framework won't work without people from both end client and the agency. So as a client, you need to allocate appropriate resources into the process. So it should be your people, your personnel, but also think about financial investments. Though it's not necessarily should be a big financial investments, to be honest, to build a framework. and make sure that the framework actually works. And as I said, for the supplier, it is really crucial to have experienced professionals that can support you at all levels, not just in terms of just operational and technical support, which is important, but also offering consultancy at the senior level and being able to act as your partners. And so in Fastuna, we call all our people, like our senior experts, our consultants, and the human interface. So that's why it says human interface. Okay. So we spoke about framework and how automation and standardization alone won't work. So now let me provide a little bit of a demo. So overview of our toolkit, which is designed to support the process of consumer feedback integration seamlessly. So you can see that our toolkit encompasses various stages and processes, starting from the very earliest stages of product development. So, for instance, at the concept stage, we actually do test and validate at as early as insights and need states. Then the process goes via raw idea testing, moving on with the concept test. And then you can also find a toolbox to test all important components of the product, such as naming, claims, designs, and so on. And once you move to communication development, you can test as early as advertising messaging, different types of advertising vehicles like banners and videos and audios, including raw comms such as animatics, bordermatics, even storymatics. And it's important to say that the tool was developed by market researchers. And with this expertise in market research and also understanding how the processes work within the businesses, we developed ready-to-use standardized solutions that help you save time and automate majority of repetitive tasks, covering entire product cycle. And what is the most important is that everything is preset and ready to use. That means that everyone can launch the test. Fastuna is completely foolproof. And this is actually the quote from one of our not market researchers, but marketing clients who said, oh my gosh, Fastuna is for idiots. But we say, okay, Fastuna is foolproof. So let me show now how it works. So this is, you can see on the screen now what you need to do to upload the project. So first you need to select the solution, and it's very clearly staged by the product development cycle. Upload what you have. It's now we see the design test. So you just upload the images, add necessary information, select how many people per one product you want to test, and give project the name, and it's ready to be launched. So that's it. So as the questionnaire already streamlined and standardized and translated to more than 50 less than 50 languages, but we operate in 15 plus countries. So and that means that if you launch in Brazil, it will be in Portuguese, and if you launch in China, it will be in Mandarin. So yeah, and then you just need to relax. So the survey will be going into the pre-moderation. So again, this is where human interface is involved. So our managers would check everything, that everything is uploaded correctly. And if everything is okay, they will launch the project into the field. Then within just a couple of hours, it depends on the country, of course. Some countries are more quick, some countries more slow. You get, you get actionable and ready-to-use dashboards. So the dashboards also, they are partly customizable. But all the dashboard will follow the logic of the funnel that we built into our questionnaire. And they will take you through the certain KPIs, and you are able to look at the individual results. You're able to compare the results between each other, also to compare the results versus norms that also already built into the dashboards as well. So it's possible to compare it with the other studies that you ran in the past. So our goal is that in total, you shouldn't spend more than 15 minutes in total on the project. So you launch in 5 minutes, do nothing for 24 hours or less than 24 hours. And then the idea is that you spend not more than just 10 minutes on digesting the results. And I do believe that Fastuna is probably the simplest tool in the market. It doesn't mean that we have quite sophisticated model built into Fastuna, but as a user, it's super simple and straightforward. Also to read the results as well. And if you guys any comments or questions, please put in the chat box.
I'll let you know if we get any. We've got they're listening, I think, at the moment, your audience. So
yeah,
I will let you know.
Cool. I think everyone is mesmerized by the tool. I just love Fastuna. And that was the reason actually I left corporates, because I believe the power of of this product. Okay, now to wrap up, I want to come back to our client stories that within just a few months, and for one client within just a couple of months, we actually implemented that framework that, included, obviously automated toolkit, user guidelines, templates, and they truly transformed their testing process. And what helped us to do it so quickly is real collaboration between our team and our clients' teams. And how it works. So the process was it's a 4-step process. So first, what we do, we assess current processes, and we identify, where the testing is needed and where the integration is needed. So, and then what we do, we develop a roadmap based on the needs. So as even the framework is kind of, it is given, but you can obviously, you need to tailor it to the need of your clients. So this is what we did. Then we implemented the framework, and so together with the client, we roll it out and train the teams, and we keep optimizing it. So we get the user feedback. So we have the usually bi-weekly meeting with our clients, to get the feedback from users. We're also sending out the polls on Fastuna, of course, very short and punchy customer success surveys, getting this, accommodating this feedback, and actually building improvements into our roadmap. So the beauty of us as a team is that we're also eager to improve our product based on our clients' needs together with our clients. To do the moment of pride, sharing some clients' feedback with you. Actually, so what happened with these clients? So that was the client who didn't have the clear process of testing earlier at the earlier stage. And so they really gained very early insight and developed product concept that received exceptional feedback from consumers. And so as the results, this client significantly increased the percentage of successful launches and leading to substantial improvement of their NPD ROI. And this is, you can see this feedback, and I loved what she said about Fastuna represents the perfect fusion of technology and human intelligence, occupying the sweet spot between a full service agency and a self-serve DIY platform. Thanks to their openness to accommodate our demands, coupled with the expertise of their team, we have forged a true partnership in establishing our in-house agile testing capabilities. So this is one client, and another very valuable feedback from another client who was struggling with like lots of marketeers sending them multiple tasks. They said they really transformed limited CMI resources into strategic powerhouse, how they said, because currently already over 30 marketers ran their project directly on Fastuna, resulting in significant increase in consumer validated tasks. And moreover, insight managers now allocate 90% of their time to strategic tasks. And so what she says is we have been working with Fastuna for 6 months now, and our marketing team's conversation have significantly improved. They, mean marketers, can use the platform to perform a variety of tests themselves, or with the help of Fastuna's customer success team, and learn essential insights from their interaction with consumers, one iteration after another. Round of applause here. But let me summarize before moving to our Q&A section. What I want to say, because about, some kind of tips for the future. So first of all, we can see the really growing demand of in-house team to, utilize agile frameworks and rapid consumer feedback. And it becomes more and more prevalent. And this trend will continue to grow, especially with the rise of AI in the market. So I'm kind of forecasting that it will grow more and more. So, and in this sense, this is super important now when choosing a supplier is critical to select one that not only provides you with some tools, but also offers system integration support, along with access to skilled professional and also technological resources. And also kind of happy to grow together with you and develop together with you. And they should be able to support you from tech perspective, but also customer success and at a very senior level as well. As repetitive tasks increasingly automated, so strategic consultancy will become increasingly valuable. It's actually for both agency and clients, and help us all to survive at our jobs. So that's it from my side. I also want to tell you that I have a gift for you. So for everyone who watches this demo, now or on recording, you can scan this QR code and sign up for a free consultation with either myself or one of our experts to revamp your testing processes and untapped optimization opportunities. So I think that's it for the presentation part. I will keep the slide on for maybe.
You can leave it up. If maybe if your colleague Anna has the link, we can put it into the chat as well, and people can just click it and go straight to sign up there. We can post that beneath the recording of the session as well.
Yeah.
So,
now I need to see how I stop.
I've just stopped it for you. I've killed it for you. There you go. So thanks, Anna. So the link is there in the chat if anybody wants to take up Maria's offer of that free consultation, because I think what's really interesting about some of the things you said is you left corporate insights world around about the time that I started the Insight Platforms site with, at that time, which I thought was a lot, about 200 companies in the directory. There's now over 1,300, most of which are, have a technology component. So there's sort of tech and data solutions in there as well. But, you're right. I do a bit of consulting work for different sides of the industry. And one of the big challenges that the corporate clients have is all about how do we navigate so much choice? How do we find the right solution that's actually going to work with our organization, not just that has the right features, but which one's going to adapt to the way that we need it to work. So yeah, a lot of points you were making there. Let me know if you have questions for Maria. We've got plenty of time, so put them into the Q&A panel there, or if you've got any of your own experience that you want to share, that relates to this, then we can make sure you can benefit from Maria's perspective on this, having worked both sides of the industry as well. One of the other things that I think I see quite a lot is companies who are providing technology often hit a barrier which they diagnose as needing behavior change in the organization. The reality is it's very, very hard to drive behavior change. You're much more likely to succeed if you can adapt your offer to the existing environment rather than hope that you can make changes in the environment so that it fits your product. And I think that's something that a lot of companies have to go through as a pain of learning that it's not you, it's them.
No, absolutely.
Good. Do please give us your questions if you've got them. I know that we were slow in the last session, and then we had a big glut towards the end. So do share. I think what's interesting for me is the pressure to evolve, where you have got a lot of new tools, a lot of impatience in marketing teams who want data really quickly, and then needing to kind of balance that with the right advice, the right robustness of insight, and being able to do that, that pressure on the tactical side, but also kind of make sure that the data is right. That's a difficult balance to keep, I think, isn't it? Yeah. And what about research for idiots? Did you never thought about having research for idiots as your strapline? I quite like that.
We did actually.
Did you?
Yeah. I think it's that was said. We actually put it in our testimonial box on the chat. So, but that was so funny because when we approached this person who gave us this feedback, because he worked as in retail as the private label marketer. And he was really horrified because he was given the task to run this study, I don't know, and on the private label, some packs, to test some packs. And then when he saw how Fastuna works, he just had to upload the packs and just click launch and okay, results in a few hours. It was in Germany. And he's like, oh, this is for idiots, because it was really clear. So setup was very straightforward, but also when results came through, it was very clear, what decision they could make. So yeah, I guess I would love to see market researchers be more kind of in this, this if they're British, I think they will get it with humor towards themselves. But I think it's definitely one of our advantages, because it can be used by anyone in organization. So, and that's why those repetitive tasks, you don't even, if you're a market researcher, you don't need to always do it yourself. You just give it to your marketers and you can feel safe. They won't make a mistake, because it's almost it's foolproof. We do have our customer success team that we really significantly increase with the demands from our clients. Our customer success team actually work as a supporting, they not just train the teams, but they're there on the regular basis, talk to new users. And I think it's important to have this also streamlined as a part of the process to onboard new users. Because with increasing number, and we now have with this pharma company, we have over 30, but it's going to grow, and they come in every day. New people, because they heard that it's happening, and they don't want to stay behind. And I couldn't even imagine what market researchers experienced before, because the tasks, it can be really, they deal with some kind of more strategic task, okay, this is innovation we want to launch within a couple of years. But I would say maybe 85% of the tasks that marketings run on Fastuna within this client particularly are very tactical. And it doesn't mean that tactical for me doesn't mean it's not important. It's super important. Like, they need to understand what message they will put in communication or on the pack. They need to understand, within for instance, their testing process, like advertising testing process. And we present actually with Natalia. Maybe it's, we presented with Natalia in the previous webinar here. So they actually streamlined the very early stage communication testing that they didn't test before at all. So, and it's helped them to improve the quality of their final adverts. Yeah, the same with the innovation. So I can see there's some questions.
I'm just going to find the link that I can share with people because it's a great case study and it's really useful for people who want to understand how do you apply this type of agile testing framework to a real life case study. So this was a great presentation from Maria and her client at Haleon, which you may know as GSK Consumer before they rebranded.
I don't say this yet. Though we presented with them already.
Yes, so you presented this. So this is public domain. So this is, we're not spilling any beans here. In fact, we're going to be joined by someone from Haleon in the next section at just over 20 minutes time. We've got 3 people with real expert views on how, the other side of the fence here, how do you go about selecting and finding the right partners? So do make sure you come along and join us for that. So good. Well, look, I don't think we're going to get too many questions here. I think there's a lot of, there's a lot of what you talked about really resonated, I think, with the simplicity and ease of use. In my view, I see an awful lot of technology solutions for research. A lot more would benefit if they prioritized user experience and some of the simplicity of workflow. It doesn't mean you have to have a simple product, but you can make the user experience incredibly simple and controlled as well. From a researcher perspective, a lot of insights teams are nervous, like you said, about other parts of the organization running off and doing their own work. If you've properly implemented, you've got the right guardrails, and you've got a system that doesn't allow people to go and cherry pick their own data to do what they need to, then then that can work very well. So good, thumbs up for ease of use, simplicity, and research for idiots. That's I think where we've come out here.
And the processes and the framework.
Yes, absolutely.
And the expertise and the
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a refreshing return to recognizing that people have an expert role to play in with technology. There's a view which I have to say I fell out with my previous employer, whose view was it's all about the technology and let's take as many humans out of the process as possible. And the reality is most organizations need some combination of both, and even the most let's say the kind of the biggest technology platforms, things like CRM systems and things, they have an awful lot of human expertise wrapped around them to make them work properly. So I think it's the same in this industry.
Absolutely.
Good
Otherwise,
stuff.
we will be taken over by AI completely. So what we guys gonna do?
That's still to come. So yeah. Good stuff. Thanks, Maria. Thank you to the Fastuna team for sharing this. You'll be able to watch the recording of this one, with all the others online very shortly. But do come back. 15 minutes. We'll be live again for our final session. It's a panel discussion. I'm hoping it's going to be lively. I'm hoping everybody's going to learn some stuff. And ideally, if you sell technology or services to agencies or to in-house teams, I'm hoping you'll come away with some really tangible lessons about what works and what not to do, because that's what we're going to get at. So do come along, find out what clients really want, and that starts in 15 minutes time. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Maria. See you all soon.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.